Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the live vibe coding with Will Melton. I am Will Melton. I'm your host, as usual, and this is Channel RVA production. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. If you're joining me for the first time, please visit studio.willmelton.com. I'll take you over there so you can take a look at what I'm cooking up. All right, so I'm on a quest to make 52 apps this year, and you've probably heard me say that several times if you've been following me on this journey, but it is a labor of love. I'm having a good time. I'm teaching folks how they can build whatever they want. And we've got a lot in the pipeline here that you can take a look at, all the things that we're building. So I have some apps that I need to add to this. I'm a little behind schedule on getting this updated, but I do have a nice little tool that we can use to help me get get those things in there. So I'm not going to waste our time on that right now. I'm going to stick to the plan, which is we're going to redesign the Channel RVA homepage. So let me take you over to that, and you can not ChatGPT, Channel RVA. I accidentally went to that website the other day. All right, so a few things about the build today. This design is working, but we want to shake it up a little. We have quite a bit of potential work to do, but mainly I'm going to be working on the homepage, getting this redesigned, but not losing what we've done so far. I'm going to switch over to dark mode here today so that we can all enjoy that. And please leave a comment as we're working because I will be taking your guidance on decisions for design. But before I start, I want to just work with my lovable agent on this build and talk a little bit about my goals today. I want to go back to thinking about the homepage design for this site. And I want to just make a couple of comments as I review the homepage that we have now. Um, we don't devote enough space to getting people to subscribe on the new design on V6, but we have it pretty good on the homepage. Also, I recognize that if somebody's signed in, we don't need to show them the subscribe forms, so we can hide all that stuff, as well as the subscribe pop-ups. I also want to bring the subscribe pop-up to the next homepage version that we build. We're going to use V6 as the scaffolding for that. I like the layout for the most part. But some things that I know that we have on the current site is like a nice little section scroller right at the near the top of the page. Maybe we don't need it, but it's kind of nice. We also need to make sure that our advertisements are getting into the page, and there's a decent amount of scrolling, so we have room for, I think, a decent amount of advertisements. I do want to maintain the design of the weather card that we have. All the work that we put into that, that needs to get carried over to V7. The horoscope design should also match what we have on the current homepage, not a new design. I also like the four card approach that shows the weather, the horoscope, and the trivia game and the missions. But as I think about it, it would also be good to be able to allow people to customize what's in that section. And we can create a roadmap item to support that customization that they can do in their profile. I like the upcoming events better on our homepage now than what we have, but I think that what we want to be able to do is have a couple of different views here. Maybe this is a grid view, maybe we have a list view, maybe we have a calendar view. I know that the V6 calendar view right now isn't very appealing, so we're going to try to work off of what we have.
You're tuned into Channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
Um, I also really like the design of the original content on the homepage. America's Healthiest City and the agency are examples of that. Um, but I really like the what to watch from our studio design on V6. I want to maintain that. But what I want to do is actually make those cards at the top be like tabs for switching between the different original content sections. A couple of things there on the what to watch from our studio. If we end up having more than four, we need to be able to slide left and right and scroll left and right in that section to see the additional shows, which I think we now have 6 shows. But when you click on them, I don't want to click out to any place. I want it to switch the section below it using the design that we have right now on the homepage, the current homepage. Some other things are we have some areas where, like in podcasts on V6, it's full width, but there's a lot of white space on the right that doesn't isn't needed. So that could be like a half width. I think things like the book pick could be half width. And some other things, I want to say that the what to order today from V5, I think, might be a better design. So back to goals. We have desire to get subscribers. We want to let people know that they can. We want people to create accounts and start their journey with us. We want to sell advertisements, so the advertisements need to be woven into this pretty well. We want to make sure that we can drive potential advertisers to us to explore what relationship would look like. We want to welcome new creators. Help me think about that. So we're gonna do some planning in this round instead of. That was a very risky thing to do, by the way. That's a long transcript. I hope I don't lose it. Anyway, I think it'll be okay. So I'm gonna switch this whenever it finishes over to plan mode because I want to do that. I don't want to change anything yet. I'm gonna go into Claude 2 and just go into Channel RVA. All right, so I'm kind of playing a little bit with Claude and Lovable at the same time so that I can That's pretty cool. I like the little slider guy there that they gave us. Anyhow, I kind of just did a verbal dump on all the things that we want to do to this, and we're just working on getting a plan together to make that happen. Now, as I think about this, of course, things always evolve as you start to think. And for me today, the thought is the customization is a new feature that we're going to be adding. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Thanks for joining me. So, being able to customize what you see on the site when you log in is one thing we're going to do. And there was something else that I was thinking about as I was scrolling through here. Ah, I know what it is. I really want to lean into the games feature and really get that part going. So, I'm going to make sure that we have all of the different ways to earn points accumulating for people here in the system. So I'm going to go over to that and work on thinking about how we weave in games into experience a little bit more. I'm going to read this. Okay, so I'm going to go take a look at the roadmap and see if there's anything else that I had on there that I didn't think about. But what I'm going to do is we'll let V7 build. I'll show you V6 because I don't think I have been showing you guys that yet. So, a few things. I think I'm just going to record another voice memo while this works. Some things that I see on V6 that could be improved. The city right now does not appear to be a slider. It's not rotating through anything. And I don't have any visual indicators of a
You're tuned into
sliding
Channel
action.
RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
I see in V6 we still have articles that don't have images that are showing up in the grid and taking up valuable space. I also noticed that there's no dark mode, light mode actual switch happening whenever I switch between dark mode and light mode. So, so right now it doesn't appear that there's any way for anybody to know what gets you points.
Wie gut kennst du dich aus mit der Hit Music History? Schalt jetzt zum neuen Hitquiz Channel und zock direkt die nächste Runde. Let's quiz. This is I love chill hop.
All right, so anyhow, if V7 it looks good, we're going to be able to ship that. But I just stopped the voice recording that I was running on my phone so that I could figure out what was going on over here. And I hadn't really, I kind of just had a stream of consciousness there. I wanted to talk through. I'm going to do another planning session with this guy. I want to go look at this. Also, I'd put it into Claude and I wanted to just see what the Home V7 is still not loading. All the other versions are loading just fine. This doesn't make sense. Okay. Marrying some stuff from Claude over here. I think I'm going to run a little bit longer than 30 minutes today. Obviously, something's wrong with this page build. guess I have to publish to CV7 for some reason.
You're tuned into Channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
On the what to watch, you didn't follow my instructions. What I said was I wanted to bring back the main section design layout that we have on the home page. And when you click on one of these shows, it opens up that show's section anchored on the home page. Clicking on these episodes should not take you out to the show's page. It should just reveal the show's section beneath, the default being whatever the default is in the first position. Something else is we cannot devote a whole section to the featured event. We cannot give a half page to that, um, especially when there's no featured event most of the time. The featured event needs to be positioned maybe beneath trending today or something, but not that much space. The calendar view is not a calendar. It's not a calendar. It's just a bunch of boxes that shows the next few days, and I can't even click on any of them. I've told you before that we can't use all this serif font back to back to back like that. I think I mentioned that in brief has too much white space and doesn't need to be a full width section. And I think the auto rotate feature on the articles cannot lead to a cumulative layout shift. We need to make sure that the section stays the same size no matter what the content is inside of it. And it doesn't make sense to say auto rotates. That is not a necessary thing to tell people. And then this top section, we have to make sure that all those boxes are the same size. And trivia should be playable from the home page. Today's trivia question. Also notice that the daily trivia doesn't give you the answer if you get it wrong. It doesn't make any sense. All right, that's a lot. I was hoping I'd get further along here. Okay, that is that. I like this guy. All right. And then as I do this, one of the things I'm noticing, since we're going to be driving people into this page, there's some design improvements that I want to make about this. All right. I also want to go take a look at whatever happened with the flash poll that we did. Take a look at our analytics and tell me if we had higher engagement during the week that we ran the flash poll. Also, people, we should be able to show the results of our flash polls someplace. Can we have a flash polls page that shows the history and the current poll? I'm going to do new flash poll. So the poll that I'm going to do, I'm going to pit Carytown against Church Hill
You're
for
tuned into
restaurants.
Channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
I love a good contest. I think it'll be a good one. Just have to find a photo from each of these places. I don't know. I don't have any photos of Carytown. All right. Anyhow, just looking at photos here so I can do my next flash poll, but I'm still waiting on V7 to be done. All right, let's see if we have a home V7 updated.
I love the sun. Sommerhits und Summer Throwbacks. Latin Pop, R&B, Afrobeats und Amapiano.
Ready for the summer.
I love the sun. Summer is now. Und für mehr Beach in deinem Sommer, switch einfach zu I love the beach. Für Pool und Beach und Bars. I love chill hop.
Oh, I forgot I got to publish. Something to do with the DNS setup that I have. I have to publish V7 to make it work. So this isn't going to be a valid comment. I want to give something on the home page that is somewhere in the top two bars. I don't know where, but I want to give people the opportunity to preview V7. We'll just say preview our redesigned homepage. And then on the top of V7, I want to add a voting mechanism where people can give it a rating. Holy smokes. I just saw that 104 degrees on Thursday next week. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Stay inside on Thursday. Okay. All right. The past polls should be leveraging the graphics that we used for social media. Under content, social cards, flash polls, there's some version of this that we could say, like, you voted and this was the answer, but I kind of like the way that this looks as opposed to what we have right now on the flash polls page, which is really kind of
You're tuned into
flat
Channel RVA, the
in
media hub
design.
for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
And that is your cue to subscribe at channelrva.com. I don't know if you guys can hear the music in the background here. I've got it turned down a little bit today. But there you go. If you didn't hear what that said, go to channelrva.com and subscribe. Helps me out a little bit. And let's see. I haven't had a chance to review B7 fully. A couple Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff going on here that we need to get a handle on. I never said to do anything called switch the studio. That is not a desirable thing. I don't need buttons at the top that allow you to select between the different studios. That's not what I'd asked for. It's not what I need. What I need is the first screenshot that I shared with you to come back to the site. The boxes that show each of the shows and the scroll bar. You can scroll along and see all 6 shows. When you click on one of these shows, and the one that I have selected here needs to be the default show, you then show the section beneath this first screenshot. The cards are the selectors. I don't want the pills. The pills need to go. I just want the what to watch from our studio. Yes, pitch us a show is fine. Keep that in there. And then as I go, let's just fix that. That's the one thing I need you to get right. All right. As I review the rest of V7, I can tell you that there are way too many events in the list view. We need to contain that list into a smaller container and scroll within the container, not a giant scroll on the page. This section down here with the Browns Island subscriber challenge and the sponsored ad has way too many lines. There's a purple line on top. This Browns Island subscriber challenge has a line around it and a line in the middle of it, and then there's another section that separates this sponsorship. It just looks really messy. There's too much going on there. And then the in brief section, you're going to have to come up with a plan to fill the right hand column because I don't need two columns of news. And I also need to be able to see the section that it's in. It's truncated right now. That doesn't make any sense. Can we put something else over there on the right hand side? Think of something smart. Resources to do the work I'm trying to do. So we're gonna have to wrap it up, but it is what it is. So thanks for joining me today. We'll see you on the other side. I'll hit publish on this here in a minute.